Well, ladies and gentlemen, Umbrella Academy is transphobic, apparently. Yes, this is a thing. This happened. This is Rolling Stone. I don't believe any of this. I don't believe any of this because the Rolling Stone is completely full of shit these days. But it's just funny. Like, you're going to try and say that the showrunner of the show where one of the main characters, like, transitioned and they actually accommodated it all is toxic, transphobic. Like, really? Come on now, behave. Like, literally no one else would have done that. Well, maybe in society they probably would have. But, yeah, I don't believe any of this. I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny. Like, the left always eat themselves. It's hilarious. So, hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn the bell notifications on. Let's go. Let's take a look. And the Rolling Stone are, like, absolutely terrible these days. They're awful, awful, awful outlet. So it says here, look, the Umbrella Academy showrunner accused of toxic, bullying, manipulative, and retaliatory behaviour. Obviously, this is completely refuted by the individual accused, but they're still running with it anyway. Like, okay, then, cool, sure, whatever. So we've got to take a look at it on other websites because, you know, the Rolling Stone or whatever it's called is horrendous with their reporting, and they always hide it. So, behind a paywall. Says the showrunner of Netflix's hit fantasy series The Umbrella Academy has pushed back on allegations reported in a Rolling Stone expose that detailed accusations of him creating a toxic and bullying environment that they say ultimately discriminated against women. Sure, fine, I guess. Steve Blackman, who co-created the fantasy series that went on to become Netflix's third most streamed show, probably not anymore, is alleged to have bullied and harassed staff, and as is alleged by the 12 anonymous sources in a Rolling Stones report that details his behaviour as the Umbrella Academy's top dog as bullying and degrading. What did he do? Ask someone, like, go make me a sandwich? Like, what is it? He's also accused in the report of firing a female writer who'd left for maternity leave upon her intended return within a month, with a month remaining in a contract. All right. This has all been investigated apparently by Netflix, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. Not to say that that couldn't still mean that something's bad, but sure, whatever. So the allegations against Blackman mostly stem from an HR complaint made in early 2023, insulting staff in private after what? Insulting staff in private after praising them publicly. Are the insults just like, hey, you need to do better, but I did praise you, but do better? Like, that's pretty professional, to be fair. Using their ideas, then giving them no credit, or belittling tactics was some of his alleged behaviours, the magazine reported. Blackman, via his rep, issued a statement to Rolling Stone dismissing the accusations of those of disgruntled, discarded writers. That's hilarious. Over 6 years and 4 seasons, overseeing thousands of crew, actors, and writers, Steve Blackman led the Umbrella Academy to become a beloved series with devoted fans, enthralling stories, and a dedicated team, making it all possible, Blackman's rep said in the statement. These allegations from a handful of disgruntled employees are completely false and outrageous, and in no way reflect the collaborative, respectful, and successful working environment Mr. Blackman has cultivated. The Umbrella Academy stars Ellen Page, coming out as a transgender blah 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 in 2020, which garnered the show high praise. Of course it was. It was woven into the plot. Came up in the complaints about Blackman. So that apparently came up in the complaints. Right, okay. Even though they did it. One of the accusers shared text with the showrunner that read, Elliot Page wants to come out as trans on the show. As Ivan. Oh my effing god, kill me now. That is perfectly reasonable to say. That is perfectly reasonable to say. Can you imagine dealing with a prima donna narcissist? It's like, hey, I want my life story plastered into the show. Thank you very much. Like, yeah, you'd be like, what is going on here? Blackman, via his rep, addressed the text's inclusion in his response, writing that frustration expressed on the matter was about the heavy lift that would come with reworking the already completed scripts. That's perfectly reasonable. What's wrong with you, narcissistic fools? So they're already completed scripts and says, quote, a complete rewrite under a wildly compressed timeline and the responsibility to handle this with sensitivity and care, said Blackman's rep. Page has herself expressed satisfaction with the manner and care of paralleling her transition journey with victors in the second season of the series. I think one of the most special things about this is how it's handled. So what's the issue then? Other text from Blackman mentioned in the article involved the alleged scheme to fire a writer with the showrunner writing. We have the perfect opportunity to jettison her via studio cover and replace, according to the magazine's sources. Another time, he allegedly spoke of a woman's breasts as her rack. Oh no! He said rack! What are we doing? What are you supposed to... Those mammary glands. Like, what are we doing? What is wrong with people? While texting a writer. The article also tells of the Writers Guild of America intervening when Blackman credited himself as the sole writer on an episode, eventually aired with 4 other writers' names credited. As far as the accusations of lewd sexist behaviour, this is so just juvenile and pathetic. The Rolling Stones article recounts how Universal Content Productions launched an investigation into the allegation in 2023. So not Netflix, sorry, but yeah, Universal Content Productions. Following the HR memo, the show's production studio found that Blackman had indeed made inappropriate and unprofessional remarks and used foul and derogatory language. The probe was criticised, with several of the accusers saying they weren't even contacted. The matter was, well, it's supposed to be, what? It is supposed to be, like, separate to you, basically. It was reportedly addressed with Blackman by HR, and following the probe, his $50 million deal with Netflix remained untouched. $50 million? That's crazy, man. That's just, what an absolute bunch of utter nonsense. Oh no, he said, oh my effing god, I'm going to have to rewrite an entire script because some of the, like, he didn't go hard enough. If that was me and I was in that place, I would go ballistic. I'd be like, what the fuck, this is not therapy for you. No, we're not doing that. Like, no. God, man alive. What is wrong with people? No, you didn't go hard enough. It's nonsense. It's a show. It's meant to entertain, not be therapy for you. Like, what is going on here? Oh, he said someone's got a rack. Oh, those mammary glands. Like, what the fuck, man? It's so stupid. We genuinely do live in a clown world. Thoughts down below, I'd love to hear it. So yeah, drop them down below, hit subscribe if you're new here. If you like what I do, please do support further via Patreon. I do get demonetized. This is probably going to be demonetized. So yeah, support me further via Patreon. Cheers guys, take care, bye bye now.